All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Clannad After Story, Episode 5. The Sunahara arc has wrapped up. Him and Okazaki ended up having their fight. The feelings were communicated with their fists. And now it seems that they were able to establish a new equilibrium. Go back to the way things were and with a better understanding of each other.
Yeah, and I'm excited for that because a lot of the progression that we could have with the main cast is really exciting for me in the idea of having something called After Story.
Right, because what does that mean exactly?
What does that mean? How do we continue beyond high school when we know that you die after that? So,
Right, exactly. And they're still in high school.
So there we go.
Yep.
But yeah, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. Ah! Okay.
What did he do this time? Oh, he's dead.
Gaslighting.
Yeah, exactly. Classic abuser behavior.
So, Sunahara, what did you do?
Right.
Oh.
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
that would be a problem.
Oh. Okay.
No name. In another life, that cat is a badass samurai.
そんなつもりじゃなかったんだけどね。いつの頃からか私にまとわりつくようになって、仕方ないから世話してるだけ。だったら売っちゃってもいいじゃん。それとも鍋にするとか？おっと。
This cat is reincarnated or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
失礼する。お前
Suddenly, a wild Tomoyo appears.
トモよ、珍しいな。
Sunahara's outnumbered.
別に珍しくないわよ。懐かしい話ね。
How was this achieved?
結束させたか聞きたいんだ。難しいわよね。ここに約2名、それを妨害する
Whoever do you mean?
人がいるし。
誰のことでしょうさ。
ともやく今毎日早起きして私と一緒に
No, yeah.
となると問題は篠原だな。また部屋まで起こしに行くか？本当に大したことしてないのよ。朝礼の時に言っただけ。1週間無遅刻無欠席を目標にしましょう。
Really? Okay.
I guess it worked.
面白がってやってくれたの。それだけなのか。
Sometimes that does work, yeah.
反発する人も出るでしょ。
Wait,
気負いすぎは禁物ってこと。
isn't she the one like beating the shit out of Sunahara?
She
earlier?
forgot her own lesson, you know.
Yeah.
何してるのかな。
Yep.
篠原さん、デートの話を聞いて
Yep.
面白が
Nog
って
is
る
it?
He was just trying to get
Spills the
advice
beans.
too, but he didn't know what to do.
ミサエさんっていろんな生徒さんに頼りにされてるんですね。
うちのクラスにもミサエさんのファン多いぜ。
人気があるのは嬉しいけどね。私みたいに叱ってばっかりの女のどこがいいのかしら。
Don't, no, you beat them up too.
それだけじゃなくて心配もしてくれるところがいいんだよ。前にラグビー部のやつが言ってたけど、ミサエさん石鹸のいい匂いがするって。
心配してくれて。
Oh.
それにいい匂い。
どうしたんだ？
なんでもないの。
It's something, but
言われたことがあってね。
yeah, someone who might be a cat now.
篠原、あんたも部屋に戻んなさい。
なんで？
Hmm.
相当まで
Is it
ま
her
だ時
mom,
間があるじゃん。
私、古
Or
川
I
さん
guess
たち
the
に
cat
話
is a
があ
boy,
る
but
の。あんた
who
邪魔。
knows? We'll see.
なんてストレートな
Damn.
お言葉。これに行けって？
そう、篠原が言ってたわよ。
Huh?
古川さんのことをめったにデートにも誘ってあげないらしいって。
And if I refer 10 more people, I'm gonna get a special kickback. You know?
言ってると他の男に古川さんさらわれちゃうわよ。そんなことありません。
She's like, that could never
さらわ
happen.
れたりなんか。
Oh. Ah! Ah!
あんたなんかにこんなこと
Yeah, that's true.
女の子他にい
It's
ない
true.
わ。
It's probably
It's very
true.
rare.
今はこうしてあんたたちみたいな若い人の面倒を見るのが役目なの。
Dreams lost and abandoned.
Almost like tears in the rain.
もう少し話していきなさいよ。またお茶入れるから。いいかい、よく聞くんだよ。このお守りには光が入ってる。一つだけ願い事を叶える光なんだ。お前は今からこれを持ってあの人の元へ行く。そして
is it a little brother?
わかったかい？
Oh, okay. What's going on?
It's been so long since I watched this, I legitimately don't remember how this goes.
そっちの子は？別の学校みたいだけど。もしかして彼氏？邪魔したら悪いね。また明日。
Okay, so this is her past. Yeah.
Right.
And was this maybe the boy
あんた
that...
誰よ？島勝樹。見覚えあるでしょ？ねえ。
So this is...
またない。私はあんたを見たこともないし、恩返しされる覚えもないの。そっちにはなくてもこっちにはあるんだよ。たいあんたのおかげで、もう五十嵐君に勘違いされちゃったじゃないのよ。
Move went back all the way to them.
帰る。僕は君の願いを叶えに来たんだ。だからそれまでは帰れない。 じゃあ目の前から即刻消えて。
Oh, she never takes him up on this and that.
それが願いなのに。
Can't go home.
Oh
でも
no.
そんなんじゃ気が
Just a
済まない
stray
ってい
cat.
うか、僕が小学生の時だよ。確か君はお母さんが入院してて、それでお見舞いに来てたんだ。その時病院の中庭にいた僕を君が励ましてくれた。覚えてないかな？車椅子に乗って猫を抱いてたんだけど。
Oh, okay.
思い出した。本当？でも私何もしてない。ちょっと話をしただけじゃない。
But you don't realize how much that
君
meant
のお
to
かげ
him.
で
Yeah.
すごく勇気づけられたんだから。私どんなこと言ったの
People never remember what you
忘
say,
れた。
but they always remember how you made them feel.
Right.
だから恩返しがしたい
Maybe
んだ。
just like the week of no tardies,
ジュースでも
she didn't think much of it.
それで十分。あのさ、いいかい？願い事は何でも叶えられるんだ。僕はそういう力のあるものを預かってる。だから遠慮しないで本当に叶えたい願い事を言ってほしいんだ。何よそれ？魔法のランプか何か？ランプじゃないけど、そういう風に言われたんだ。
Okay.
さあ。
He's very strange, yeah.
おはよう。ミサエ、誰この子？可愛いじゃない。
Meets
五十嵐君やね。
her every day, huh?
Yep.
肛門なんかで待ってんじゃないわよ。苦しいよ。勘違いって？あのね。
I wish
あな
that
たは
the
男の子で
rumor would go away.
想像つかないの？あ、そうか。
Yeah.
五十嵐君
Uh-huh.
のことが好きなんだよね。相良さん美人だから大丈夫だよ。
Hey,
そうだ、告白しようよ。
let's
Can help
ask
you
him
out.
out.
Yeah.
どうしてあんたに付き添われて告白しなきゃなんないのよ。
Ah, a blonde boy that's constantly in her face.
あのね、あんた私の願いを叶えに来たんでしょ？なのに邪魔してどうするの？じゃあ
Sunohara might remind her
五十
of.
嵐君と結婚する。それでいい？
Could be.
Of someone
そんなのダメよ。
should rather not have to remember.
人の心を操ったりしちゃダメ。
He's like, what are you talking about? People do that all the time.
Yeah.
おかえり。
It's a question of can't or won't.
い
Yeah.
きなりひどいな。校門で待つ
This is Groundhog's Day.
Right.
ミサエ、本当にこの子につきまとわれてるのね。
Phil Connors? I thought that was you.
ミサエが好きな人がいるの。こんなところを五十嵐君に見られたら。
俺が何？おう、相良の彼氏じゃん。俺にも紹介してくれよ。
違うの。全然そういうんじゃないの。大丈夫だよ。五十嵐君もきっと相良さんのこと好きになってくれるよ。
Another thing to tell you about high school romances. They rarely go beyond high school.
Hmm.
何が？
In an anime. Oh man, that's a lot of pining.
焼いたり嫌な気分になったりしないの？多分そういうことに疎いんだと思う。
I also don't like you that kind of way.
Right.
そういうところは嫌いじゃないな。
Hey,
Don't
I
dislike.
don't dislike.
You're in.
Yeah, you're definitely in, especially with the tsundere.
Mm-hmm. Or
You
Maybe
really
not.
can't go home.
あんた風邪ひきたいの？わあ、まったく。せめて風邪ぐらい用意して
Already showing her mom kinda
Yep.
taking care of someone kind of thing.
なんでこんなやつの世話してるんだろう私。
Yeah.
ごめん。
I hope this doesn't become a habit, me taking care of people.
何でも叶える力があるなら雨ぐらいやませられない。
You have to wish for it.
それはダメだよ。願い事は一つだし、それは相良さんのために使うんだから。
You know, if you just were vulnerable and said what it was you wanted, then they wouldn't have to
何話したかも
wait for you.
くせに。多分内容じゃなくて 話せたことに意味があったんだよ。僕、相良さんの彼氏じゃないです。
そうなの？
はい。相良さんには好きな男の子がいるそうです。
Oh, damn, she already has someone she likes.
ちょっと頼まれてくれるか？
Oh no, oh no, that's not a good look.
相良の気持ちは分かってる。
Yeah.
でも俺にはこうして彼女がいるし、今のうちにそれとなく伝えてやってほしいんだ。
Getting caught in the middle.
しょうがないだろう。性分なんだ。
ほら、何が
Yeah.
お姉さんに相談してごらんなさい。
Uh-huh.
もしかして恋でもした？そうかもしれない。え、マジ？今かなり適当に言ったんだけど。でもそれでどうして落ち込んでるの？それは僕はその人に悲しい。
Oh boy, you're gonna pull a confession into this as well?
その人には他に好きな男の子がいて、でもその男の子にはもう彼女がいるんだ。それを伝えてくれ。
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of drama.
その子が失恋のショックで落ち込んでるところを慰めてあげれば。
I have no idea who this person might be, but
ほら、島君。へこんでないで前向きに考えましょうよ。
Oh, the angled shots.
そんなこと思えるわけないよ。
Oh.
相良さんが僕の立場だったらそう思うの？
Yeah.
思えるの？その人のこと好きなのに、その人が悲しい目に遭ってチャンスだなんて。ごめん。ごめんね。私の周りにいる子ってみんなそういう風に前向きに考えるやつばっかだから。
Oh. Yeah, she just figured it out. Yeah.
uh-huh. Oh.
There we go. Yeah.
島君、さっきの話。
Yeah.
そうか。私バカだ。なんであんたが泣くのよ。わからない。
Yeah, she doesn't want to be with anybody when she cries.
Yep.
Cool. Well, that was a weirdly pleasant surprise.
Yeah,
Misa is like not even a character in season 1. Like,
no.
Like,
I remembered that she gets an arc, and that was about it. Yeah.
So basically, all the people that were under focused on in season 1 are getting arcs.
It would seem that one of them certainly is.
Sunahara was under focused on.
Well, okay, yeah,
1.
yeah, no,
That's why he
that's a good point. Yes, yeah, 2 for 2 so far.
Yeah.
And even May was kind of wrapped.
May
into
was
it.
May was the other one that was more underutilized even than
Right.
Sunahara. Yeah. So it's a combo deal. But okay. Yeah, dorm mom had a past where there was a guy that she liked that she pined for, but there was a guy that had,
oh man,
like a ferocious dedication to being by her side. Mm-hmm. And yet he played the I'm just a friend card kinda.
And like there's a part of me that, because I don't remember much about this arc, so like I have emotions on it, but then also, I don't know if there's any of past subconscious memories coming through, but it felt like that was him also realizing when he realized how much it would hurt him to tell her, oh, I think I like her.
Right. No, I 100% agree. He did not want to tell her because he loves her so much at this point.
Right.
It's in some ways the wonderful thing about human beings is that you can't spend that much time with someone without beginning to understand them.
Right.
And once you understand someone pretty well, it's sometimes practically a coin flip of whether or not you'll like begin to love them. Not necessarily romantically fall in love with them.
Right, but it's the
begin to love them on some level.
Unless you just can't get along with the person, you will probably start to very deeply care about them.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Ah, well, Nisai.
Backstory.
Our dorm mom.
Yeah.
The guardian of the rugby club, but also they're one that keeps them in line.
Exactly. And I love that we're getting an arc for Misai, because it's one of those things where when we're introduced to her in season 1, kind of begs the question of why? Why is she here? Well, like, what?
She's there to be someone that's in the same space as Sunahara.
Right.
But even then, it's kind of a thing of where it's probably an adaptation thing where she's maybe a bit more of a deal in the
visual novel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And I get it.
Story here.
I get it from an appeal sense of like, yes,
she's a fun character.
She's a fun character, and you gotta have the One-chan, the big sis,
But that's the thing. She fulfills more of the archetype in season 1. She doesn't really have a character.
Right. So it's the whole
really
thing
much.
of, okay, what's the deal? Why are you here? Practically, if you were going to have somebody that, like, is she even employed by the school? Probably, but why would you stay here and look after all these,
Yeah, for sure. Sorry.
What you thinking?
I was just wanting to say, I feel like on some level, this is a character that I never wondered about any of those things.
Okay.
I thought she was entirely just a tertiary character there to just fill a space and have that archetype that she's attached to. But by saying, we're going to have an arc focused on her here, it might literally just be the next episode. Like, that might just be it.
Sure, that's total possibility.
And then it's over.
Yep.
And in some ways, I think that's plenty.
Right. Because even with Sunahara, his arc was wrapped up by episode 4, but it didn't really start immediately because you had the whole thing of the baseball episode at the beginning and stuff like that. So for Misai, who knows? It might not be something that's very long.
But they are adding a reference back to more supernatural-esque stuff by having Shima be in the story. And I'll have to look it up, but Shima as a name reminds me of something. I'm trying to remember what it is, but I think it means something specific in Japanese that is like feels fantastical. I'll have to go back and look that up.
Okay.
But showing up very almost like a fae creature just coming in and being like, I can give you a wish. Of a dream and I need to give you a wish so that I can go home. What, to die? To go to your other world? What does that mean?
Yeah, this does feel very, very kind of similar to the more traditional Foucault-esque situation.
Very Foucault, yes.
Where he was at the hospital. Maybe, I mean, if this is a spoiler, I don't know. But if he died at the hospital or something like that, and then it's I'm lingering because I can't pass on because you did this thing that helped me, you know.
Sure.
And so now I want to come grant you some boon or something like that.
That literally feels like what it is.
Sure. Yeah. And then the cat is the stray cat that he had that now is following her around even, in the present day or something like that.
I mean, it doesn't even have to be a stray. It could have just been his cat.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So in this time, he owes her something very much like a lot of the other characters who are in her kind of circle. Mm-hmm. Most of them are people that are younger than her.
Yep.
That owe her quite a lot because she's constantly giving, and she carries this regret, this struggle, this
some unresolved
stuff.
Emotional issue, and for something like that to persist into adulthood, it generally it's got to be something a little bit bigger and something that had reasons why it wouldn't necessarily be addressed, right? And I love the connection point you made of does Sunahara remind her of this kid, right? And maybe that's why the arc is happening now. Maybe that's why she seems to kind of pick on Sunahara more than the others, because
venting out some frustrations,
right? Trying to sell, your cat that isn't technically your cat, but it's I understand that would be something that might be frustrating, or if they joke about eating your cat,
Yeah, and if this cat is a treasured, friend of a memory of a boy that maybe you wished you had more time with, or you didn't reject, or something like that.
Right.
I love the idea of her being a reference point of, hey, treasure the loves of your youth because those things are not forever.
Right.
Nothing is really forever. And while there definitely is this almost how would I say this? There's this supernatural-esque fantastical air to a bunch of things in Clannad, mostly because of the girl and the
robot and all that.
With the robot and stuff, and very much feeling like they're kind of using them as like thematic parallels for the blossoming relationship between Nagisa and Okazaki. Tomoya.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see that maybe more than the Misai actual backstory resolution stuff, because it's being very like heavy-handed. I was just gonna say very heavy-handed as to kind of what's been implied here. But I guess that's good for the pacing, so that we can get this in and out and good, because I want to go back to the main characters here. I like Misai's stuff that they've got going on here, but I didn't care about her in season 1.
Right.
There was no reason to do this, really.
Right. We started with something of Misai relating to the main characters and their dynamic and offering some insight, probably that she has as a perspective as a result of her past.
Yeah.
Probably the past that we're seeing right now. And yet, how is this going to tie in at the end, right? Because in a situation like this where you have sort of the, okay, let's deal with the different arcs of the different characters, you got to have that connection point to the main characters, so that way we can see them grow in a similar way that we see the drip feed of the robot and the girl over the course of the entire show.
Yeah, I mean, we can tell a little kind of spin-off story here that won't progress the overall story necessarily.
Sure.
But Misai being an older character makes this somewhat intrinsically interesting, because she's going to then be an influence because of that respect kind of hierarchy, where other people like Sunahara, for instance, might feel the after effects of whatever character development she goes on here by finding some resolution to her past.
Even Tomoyo was mentioned that she would come here frequently because apparently Misai was the first female student council president and managed to have a week of no tardies or absences.
Which is such a fun thing of wow, legend.
Good job, but
something that you might not be able to see how you helped make that happen.
Sure.
I like that you brought that up, because the way in which she said, oh, don't force yourself. What did she say?
Don't make it a big deal.
Don't make it a big deal.
Because if you do, there will always be a rebel. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, wait a minute.
You don't seem to be doing that now.
No, if anything, you seem like the rebel. You seem like the kind of person who makes a big deal about things being made a big deal. I feel like she could be very, very interesting. It's just we're getting this right now. I feel like all of a sudden.
Yes.
And
very abrupt.
I hope that if we're doing this, we're officially upgrading her to being a full-fledged member of the cast, and not then just going, okay, next episode. Now she's out of the story again. She doesn't matter anymore again. It's
making a comparison to the Sunahara arc that we just got. That was something where I felt like it was a long time coming because of the way that Sunahara was treated in the show.
Extremely important to Okazaki.
Yeah, very like if you were to name a character that is probably the next main character after Nagisa and Tomoya, and maybe Nagisa's parents, maybe it would be Sunahara, right? Yeah. Because he's been there the whole time. The instances, the reasons of how it ended up coming about, the arc itself, ended up being a lot of contrivances and melodrama and things like that, right? Yeah. With this, given that it is a character where it is not expected, it isn't even necessarily needed, then you really want to make sure that the reasons and the execution for it happening are sold to the audience, right?
Totally.
And so far, I think that the episode does a fantastic job of setting up that this is going to be something that's awesome. It's really good so far. Then the question is just how do we tie it back to the main characters?
Yeah, how do we bring it back to the main story?
Right. What is going to be the lesson that Tomoya and Nagisa learn, and what is going to be the reasons of why the general notion of, hey, cherish each other because this is not something you'll find somewhere else.
I think cherish is the right word. It's cherish each other and be honest and forthcoming with your feelings. Don't hold them back. Don't hide them. Don't try and be like, well, I would never,
have someone,
someone take me away.
Right.
Instead, no, like that's something you shouldn't be like, whatever. No, celebrate that. That's wonderful.
Right, exactly, because that also has implications.
Mm-hmm.
And you saw them kind of blush and like, turn away once that's said, because it's like, wait a minute. Does that mean are you saying that like you're in this for like the long haul? Like, wait, what's going on here?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah. And also, if you want to go really meta with it, this is something where if we want to think about this like after story as a true like sequel to Clannad, well, we need to continue their love story.
Yep.
And one of the things I thought that was potentially going to happen was that we were going to see them get married and have a family through like a time skip or something like that.
Yeah.
But what it might be is it's that this is another love story that maybe doesn't have the happiest ending.
Okay.
And those death flags that they were waving are very much going to be brought up again later. But this is a reminder of treasure what you have while you have it.
Because it doesn't have to be a person that takes her away.
Exactly.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. And that because
that would make sense. And then how you have an arc,
how you have it be relevant.
How you have an arc that is not the main characters or even remotely associated with them, has a thing that is very relevant to them, but it has to happen before any more progression happens with the main characters.
And the catch-22 about something like that is this is the like eternal problem with the young, right? Is that you don't realize necessarily what you have until it's gone, right?
Yeah.
Like, how do you realize you're in the good times when the good times are still happening? You
have to know in the bad times, and most people that are young aren't really like in some ways. Well, there's no luck or anything to do with it. It's just that a lot of the times you don't even know how good or how bad things can get, I guess.
And the thing is that Okazaki and Nagisa, for their own different reasons, have had bad times.
Yes.
Right? And now they're in a really good time. And the thing is that they're still kind of just not fully committing to enjoying the good time that they're in.
Yeah.
So.
And we want that so much.
Indeed.
So, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access. You can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
We stream every weekday. The info's in the description.
Yes, if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.